Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Think Future. My name is Calabucas, and once again, we're coming at you live from deep in the heart of Silicon Valley, California. We're talking innovation, startups, the future, not necessarily those, and not necessarily in that order. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so that you can get notified whenever a new show comes online. Plus, if you're listening on a podcast service, we'd greatly appreciate it if you subscribed and drop us a review on Apple Podcasts. I don't know why I'm saying us. It's just me, myself, and I. Now, I've talked about this before many times, but I think it requires a refresher. I went to a conference of the Association of Professional Futurists a couple days ago. And it was an amazing conference. Amazing conference. Because we had futurists from all over the world come on and talk about great breakthroughs in medical science. Huge breakthroughs in medical science. Breakthroughs in quantum computing, breakthroughs in AI, breakthroughs in medical science, talking about longevity, talking about increasing the length of, reducing diseases and plagues, improving things for the human race, improving things, applying technology to things to make our lives better. And it was great. It was optimistic. It was looking at technology from a perspective of how it could make things better for us. How technology could improve the human race, the human condition. It was great. It was great. I was speaker after speaker went up there and they talked about all these different things, quantum computing, etc., etc. And it was all fantastic. And they made the mistake, this sounds a little dumb, but they made the mistake of opening it up at the end to everybody in the conference to talk. And after that amazing presentation with so much positivity on where the human race is going, we had the Shouldwes. That's right, folks. The Shouldwes reared their ugly head. Now, if you don't remember my previous stuff, I talk about how the human race can be separated into different sections. But I think the one that's the most annoying to me is between the Shouldwes and the Doits. A Doit, for example, is somebody like Thomas Edison, Elon Musk, Nikola Tesla, Marie Curie, all these inventors who've created all these great things for the human race. Wilbur and Orville Wright, people who invented, figured out how to get us off the ground. Flight. The Doits are the people who look at a problem and they say to themselves, I want to solve that. I want to figure out how to solve that problem. And if something goes wrong and I get hurt or killed, then that's okay because I'm doing it in the cause of science. I'm trying to improve humanity and I'm willing to take the risk that something bad is going to happen to me so that I can actually do something really, really good. Really, really good. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to work or not. It could be a total failure. I might hurt myself really badly or I might get killed. But this is something that's really cool and we really need to do it. And we need to figure out if it's possible so that we can improve the lot of humanity. And then, so those are the Doits. Now there's plenty of Doits out there, but those Doits are constantly being ripped back or reined in by the Shouldwes. That's right, folks. The people who have to make the ethical decision first as to whether or not something should be done before we even know it can be done. I'll give you an example. Longevity researcher says we've got the tools in our arsenal right now to be able to extend life to 150, 160, 200 years. Can you imagine how great it would be if people lived to 200 years? Sign me up. I would be one of the first ones on that list to live for 200 years. I would love to live for 200 years. I'd love to live for 1,000 years. I'd love to be immortal. I can't imagine, all these ethical issues about people being immortal. I would love to be immortal. I think that would be great. But the first thing that comes up is the Shouldwes saying, should we do that? Should we be immortal? Human beings, if you give them immortality, or if you give them a longer lifespan than what they have, then are they no longer human beings? So sure, they're human beings. They're just longer lived human beings. We get to experience more. We get to see more. We get to do more. We get to come up with new things. More and more neuron connections in the brain. But there's always a should we. There's always a should we. There's always someone who comes in and puts an ethical filter on it and says, should we do this? Should we even think about doing this? And the thing that gets my goat is that they talk about things that aren't even possible yet. We don't even know if they're possible. So we don't even know, we haven't even experimented yet. So they want to stop, they want to put a halt on experiments that could improve the life of every human, because we don't know if we should be doing it. Well, what I say to you is, what if we can't do it? We don't even know if we can do it. But at least let's try. Let's experiment. Let's take the risk. Because if we don't take the risk, then how are we ever going to know? Some of the biggest breakthroughs that have improved humanity immensely have been through people taking the risk and ignoring the should-we's, not putting an ethical filter on science, and just moving forward. Unfortunately, nowadays, we have ethical filters on science all the time. First question we ask is, should we do this? Should we do that? When the first question we should ask is, can we do this? Is it possible? And all of those things, all of these technological things that they're talking about, can be used in different ways, right? I mean, you can use technology for good, you can use it for evil. In fact, we're seeing examples of that right now, where technology is used for good and evil. But since it's neutral, and if you put it in the hands of good people with good intentions, who knows what you can do? So we can invent all sorts of things. We can extend our lifespans like crazy if we just told the should-we's, shut up, sit down, and let's see if we can do this before we decide we should do this. So I ask you, watching this or listening to this, which one are you? Are you a should-we, or are you a do-it? Are you in a should-we organization, or are you in a do-it organization? That's it for me for today. See you next time, and until then, don't forget to think future.